What's up? Hey, it's Dominic D'Angelo. It's Rumor and Innuendo. It's a Thursday, and we're back. I'm with Mr. Robert Karplis, WD Creative _ish. Robert, I was locked out of my apartment yesterday. I finally got back in.
Yesterday you were a man on the street. Today you sound like a man on the street with your weird handheld microphone here. You're back to your late '80s Today Show. You're a regular Bryant Gumbel.
Ooh, I'll take it.
Yes, we'll say hi to the fine folks joining us live.
Yes.
E says, "What's up? I'm so excited. Fonzie was live last night, and today RVD is going live. I was actually talking about Fonzie last evening.
Were you really?
Yes, was at a dinner with the Coastal Championship Wrestling president and CEO, and he was talking about how Fonzie comes out to their events and how great he's been doing on color commentary of late. Cammy Star says,
Hey.
"Now, Dom, yesterday was a lesson. Teach Razor to use doors.
That's a fact.
Who do you think locked the door, Cammy?
Whoa.
What a swerve, bro! It was
Whoa,
the cat,
did it.
bro. It was Cat Hall. He turned on him. He was an insider. Now he's an outsider, Cat.
Oh
It's
my God.
provocative." Jeff Henninger says, "Hello, R&I. There was no Blue Chew ad read yesterday because Dom couldn't walk dick first in any room, being locked out of his apartment." That's true. If you find yourself locked out of your apartment, BlueChew.com, promo code rumor.
Yeah.
Wrestling Old Head says, "Good day to you all, R&I."
Thank you.
Lou 4237 says, "Previously on R&I, Dom was locked out of his apartment. Was he able to regain access to his domicile? Let's find out together on a very special rumor and innuendo." What I learned, what I love is this StreamYard gimmick. For whatever reason, I can't sign in, and used to be able to push record and do the whole thing. Don't have the approvals anymore to do it, which is why I wasn't just here on my own talking
Right.
all things wrestling. Stand by one moment.
Marty has encountered an intruder and Robert is taking care of it. That was pretty funny seeing Marty in the background like that. I was like, wow, there's Marty. But yes, Johnny Disco says, "Good day. R&I made it live today. Good to have you, Johnny Disco." Alt Jake, Gumble to Gumble. That's right, Gumble to Gumble. And damn it, Dom changed it to Dawn. Yeah, that's okay. It changed it. I get it. I knew what you meant. It's okay. Robert, welcome back. Oh, you're muted.
Someone dropped me off a spare key to your apartment just in case this happens to you again.
I need all
so we can get you back in. I love the amount of vitriol and hatred you were getting on the internet yesterday for being locked out of your apartment.
Dude, the comment section was so funny. When I went back and looked, like when I got back into the apartment, it was like looking at the comments. There was some clever stuff being said.
Dude, I was more mystified. I love that the only forbidden door is the one to your home.
Over there, baby. But hey, we're back. We got some things to talk about, Robert. I guess we'll start off with Dynamite first. Initially, we had an interview I was going to cover, but we can do that later on.
Let's cover the interview.
You want to do that first?
Yes.
Let's do it then, Robert.
I'm a whore for chronology.
Okay.
And Dynamite, here's the thing. Dynamite was a 3-hour program. Myself and Scott Chaplin actually just broke down segment by segment for Working Stiff, all 3 hours of Dynamite.
God bless you.
It was laborious.
Yes, it was.
But yes, but I wanted to talk about the Tony Marie Khan Ariel Helwani interview.
Yes,
simply because it's clear they don't like each other, or they didn't like each other based on prior interactions. Ariel Helwani is a journalist. He's an actual journalist, not to be confused with.
Excuse me?
Who?
I'm glad you're pointing
no, the way that my screen looks, it looks like I'm pointing directly at you.
But you're not. The universe knows I'm a good journalist.
Sure. So Ariel Helwani is going to ask pointed, serious questions. And I guess part of the issues before was he felt Tony Khan had obfuscated him on some questions. And I think one was about whether or not he had met Nick Khan, and he wasn't getting a clear answer. And this is not to get lawyery for a moment, but when you're preparing somebody for a deposition, you like to think about what type of questions are going to be asked. You prep your guy in advance. And the thing is, you don't want to lie. You don't want to be inconsistent. You can answer questions. You can answer questions in a vague way. But if you say something that's untrue, someone's going to drill down on it. A journalist is going to do that, another attorney. And the way that Tony Khan performed yesterday or 2 days ago at this point for on Ariel Helwani's podcast was very much like a guy on the stand nervously hoping no one was going to ask him a gotcha question.
It had a little bit of that, didn't it? It sure, like with certain aspects of things. Let's get into some of the topics. What were some big takeaways?
Oh, Dom took himself away. This is real life, guys. This is what happens when you're working with Dominic D'Angelo. He was there, he clicked a button, and now he's gone. Now he's back.
Now I'm back. I don't know what happened.
Man, we know what happened. We all know what happened. It's a Dominic D'Angelo Tuesday here on a Wednesday episode of Rumor and Innuendo. So I had the notes up and then I closed them away because I went to go see if you were still alive.
I'm alive, everyone. Don't worry.
I don't know necessarily worry is the phrase. So we can go in order. You kind of wrote a lot of the bullet points here.
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway was Tony was behaving very safe. He was very well behaved. We haven't gotten, I think Scott pointed this out when we were talking, we haven't gotten the snarky, mean Tony Khan tweets in a while. Right. He's trying very hard to be sort of a mature, responsible adult, which is the least fun reason to be a wrestling promoter. Like,
absolutely,
you're a wrestling promoter, you get to be a goof. You get to be an imbecile. See, McMahon, comma Vince, McMahon, comma Stephanie, McMahon, comma Shane, Heyman, comma Paul, Bischoff, comma Eric, Carter, comma Dixie,
Russo, comma Vince.
Bro, he never owned a company. He wasn't the promoter. He was just the guy holding the pen.
I would never want to run a wrestling company, bro.
I use a quill. It was a peacock.
Yeah, so no, Tony did air on this. It is kind of a bummer though, Robert. I liked cantankerous Tony a little bit.
You want to see him get a little like fiery, like Marty is.
Marty does. Yeah, like Marty.
I'm gonna go tend to him. I'm right here. Yeah, I know. What do you want? You want to come join the show?
Yeah. What were some of the chat's biggest takeaways with the Tony Khan interview? If you guys tuned in, it was about an hour, almost an hour and a half. They went. It's a pretty lengthy interview. But they did start off, Robert. One of the first topics was Darby Allin and him taking all the risks that he does. And Tony said he'll use or OK Danger or Gore when it serves the story, and it feels almost it always has in AEW and ROH. And he also had the one that did take away concern from was that plate of glass at Revolution for Sting's retirement match.
Which, by the way, the follow-up question, and some of these were like Helwani should have gone with a stronger follow-up question, which would have been that number one, are you trying to build a brand that can grow to a family audience? The stuff that Darby does, the use of the plastic bag on Bryan Danielson, the use of syringes being stabbed into people, a lot of glass Molotov cocktails,
spiked bats,
spiked boards are things that may give people pause to let their family or their younger, viewing audience tune in. And is that a concern that Tony may or may not have?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Another topic was the Warner Brothers, if they will inherit the media rights.
What about the Warner sister Dot?
Oh, good one. Animaniacs, everyone.
Everybody loves the Animaniacs.
I just realized
our Pinky and the Brain dynamic here for the first time ever.
Wow, that's kind of true. I was a big fan of the pigeons. I like the pigeons the most. They're my favorite.
The Good Feathers?
Yes, the Good Feathers. That's what.
Why these are things I know right off the top of my head. Devin Dowling earned his daily ban by saying Dom is the brain. Height-wise, yes. Devin. Head-wise, yes. Multiple people dropping a narf.
There was a couple narfs in here.
Man, I did not expect that we were going to touch on a treasure trove of Animaniacs fandom here, but
this chat
anyway, The Warner piece was that whoever buys Warner will inherit the media rights deal, which is interesting. But what was also laughably funny was when they're talking about the media rights deal, and we teased that what he was going to say, that he was going to pivot everything to how great they're doing in the demos. And then they said that Blood and Guts did 600,000 views, and that was great because a lot more people are watching on streaming. And then Ariel Helwani said, "Great, how many people were watching on streaming? Oh, they don't tell us that information."
Yeah.
Guys, we expect you to believe a lot in wrestling. I do not believe that the president of a television production company such as AEW doesn't ask what the numbers of their show are, especially since they have, what are they called? Oh yeah, advertisers who like to
Kind of key.
see what the metrics are. That's why we have so many fantastic sponsors here.
Yes, exactly. That is why. We also have a new sponsor, Robert. It happens to be
I
Men
was,
Go to Mars.
I was giving
Men
you the
Go to Mars.
chance to get there.
Yeah. The Men Go to Mars. Check it out. That's a great, great new kind of supplement that we have going on. It's for testosterone. So if it's different than the usual TRT that you can usually get. This brings back energy if you feel lethargic. Guys my age and Robert's age, we're getting to this point where it's this kind of much lower T than what we're usually used to. It's a lot more tired, different aspects like that. Well, the Mars brand here, they will help you out and in a good natural way too. So there's plenty of they give you a bunch of supplements that you can take, and ultimately we have a great deal for our listeners here today too.
I am excited. I will say I'm excited. They send us the supplements. I didn't want to start taking it before I was leaving on my cruise
Right.
because I didn't want to interrupt while I was away at sea. But now that I'm back, obviously we've talked about it on here. I go out running on a daily basis, but I find right around later afternoon after I've wrapped up Rumor and Innuendo, I'm trying to do work. I start feeling that drag, and
Yes.
I feel like we're gonna be able to see a little bit of a boost here, Mr. D'Angelo.
Absolutely. And over the course of like 90 days too, you'll see like if you work out, you'll see muscle build, you'll see different aspects like that. That's the ultimate goal with a lot of some of this stuff too. And you'll just have a higher testosterone, bigger energy, ready to go, and you will sleep better too. That's another added addition to it too. There's a lot of options that can kind of go on with this. But for a limited time, our listeners get 60% off for life and 3 free gifts when you use code rumor at mengotomars.com. That's mengotomars.com and use code rumor at checkout. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that Rumor and Innuendo sent you. We also were sent some more Tony Khan information. Something that I thought was interesting, Robert, was the Eric Bischoff discussion. Ariel brought up some names like Bischoff and Cornette, and Tony says, kind of was diplomatic in regards to what Bischoff had to say and did credit him for a lot of the work that he did in the past. And then also kind of mentioned that he spoke to him not that long ago. What did you think of that aspect of the interview?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of sour grapes in the, I can't believe Bischoff is so critical of what I do. He's run this type of job before. He knows how difficult it is.
Right.
And I don't know I don't know ultimately what Tony was trying to accomplish with this particular comment here, other than if someone's had the same job as I have, they shouldn't criticize what I'm doing when they probably have the best insight into what it looks like.
Right. Like you learn from your past mistakes and stuff like that. And so it's like who has better insight than Bischoff in a situation like this in a lot of ways. He was asked about counter programming with WWE. And he said it never cost him anything, and it always has worked out in their end. And he kind of understands the aspect of it all because that's always been the nature of wrestling television. Even mentioning Crockett and WWE back in the day as well, and the competitive nature of that. Was that a good answer on his part? Do you think, Robert?
Again, he was being very diplomatic. I think that
Sure.
if I were him, I would have probably taken the position of WWE is run by a multi-billion-dollar global company.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're spending time, effort, and energy to come after us, that speaks volumes of how they view us as legitimate competition, and they should. So if they weren't paying attention to us, if they weren't running counter program, if they weren't trying to play gotcha with all of our shows, then it would say maybe we're not doing something right. But to me, this seems like we're doing something correct.
Absolutely. Another interesting note was Ariel actually brought up Matt Hardy's comments, saying that they were clearly the effort in NXT and TNA relationship was a shot for against AEW, and Tony replied, "I think it's probably true. The fact that Matt said it, that's really cool too." I thought that was kind of, I thought that was unexpected.
Yeah, again, it was this guy. He was trying so hard to behave and stay within the lines.
Yeah,
And no, I think that the reason why WWE is working with TNA is not necessarily simply because they're trying to hurt AEW, but because they were coming out of an antitrust lawsuit. And the best way to try to combat some of that narrative is to show that you're willing to work well with others.
that's a great point. Great point. Uh, Mentioned the CM Punk situation with the rolling the tape of backstage at All In and all that. What did you think of that? And Tony's Khan's response to all that.
This whole like, oh, I don't have any ill will towards Phil, and I hope that we can, find a way to get together. And I aired the footage, and it did great ratings. It's like, well, yeah, you had a moment of gotcha TV that made you look pretty amateurish, and the idea of, well, I disagree with Punk's narrative of what happened, then you had a forum, and you can't hide behind the, well, there's NDAs and all that. There's absolutely ways you could have addressed it, but to say it's sort of this indirect way of, here's what happened, and Punk's narrative of it isn't accurate, and then Hawani following it up with, yeah, but didn't it kind of feel like he called you out for not being a strong leader?
I was, yeah, that was something.
And he just kind of took it.
He said,
Again,
"Fair to the opinion. Everybody has the right to their opinion." He's saying, "I
everyone
don't
has
care."
their own
Yeah.
opinion. That's great. Opinions are like D'Angelo's. We all have one.
Hey,
Hey.
you got a D'Angelo.
Yeah, well, something that was very funny was when they brought up the Cody Rhodes, Ricky Starks, CM Punk, Jade Cargill picture.
Yes.
And again, it would have been an opportunity for Tony to be like, hey, this was a big moment for your company and a big night where these folks are winning titles. And rather than celebrating them, you're taking yet another pot shot at us. Boy, we must live rent free in your heads.
Man, yeah, that would have been a heck of a response from him.
Instead, it was kind of reminds me of that time that we took a picture with Cody and Mox and put that up there because they both worked at WWE.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Another aspect we had was yeah, the no HBO Max numbers, but then Ariel went on a list of names, really hammering home Killer Cross and trying to bring him into AEW.
Oh, dude. Okay. The whole, hey, would you ever bring in Karrion Cross? I never thought of that. I haven't talked to him in a while. Like, really? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I also love when he was talking about the Bischoff stuff and why these old promoters talk about him. He's like, because we're news, because we happen every week. Yeah, you're a national wrestling television show. People are going to talk about what you're doing. If you weren't giving them anything to talk about other than this is the best type of show, this show is amazing, this is incredible, which was kind of what Meltzer was doing in the early parts of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's not going to get clicks, but it's not like people have to work very hard to manufacture reasons to find fault with AEW. But at the same time, we want AEW to be successful. And Tony did kind of acknowledge there were definitely some footfalls. There were some decisions that he said I made that I went against my gut instinct.
Mm-hmm.
And I've really taken the time over the last year to try to think through what I'm doing. And the product right now, for the most part, feels at least more well plotted.
That's a good way to put it. Yes. Certainly a lot that still can be done, but yeah, you definitely do see a little development in it. One of the sobering names that got brought up was Adam Cole. It really sounded like Adam Cole is probably done with wrestling almost, Robert.
It definitely did sound like that where he's at right now in terms of his physical health is that he's not going to be entering the ring again.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely hope that we don't see Adam Cole wrestle again, because it feels like there are very serious consequences that he's continuing to face. And you
Mhm.
don't want him to be in a situation where it materially impacts the rest of his life simply to get one more match. And
Absolutely.
Tony's saying, look, Adam Cole is good on commentary. He's good working in the back. Like, he's a guy who's going to have a job. Follow that instinct. Go down that path. We've seen it work successfully for Corey Graves as a guy
Absolutely.
who said, you know what, let me pivot from front of house to the office. No, Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse Ventura. These are
Yeah.
guys who got significant longevity while backstage. Wrestling Ohead says, not to say Vince was right back then, but now Adam Cole should be a manager.
What there's I mean, yeah, certainly it makes you think about that. Absolutely.
I mean,
Um,
Keith Lee is on the roster.
true that. The another name, Miro. This one sounded like Tony was a little upset about.
Yeah, this was. I have my opinion on what to do with Miro. Miro has his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion. I'm entitled to mine. We both have D'Angelo's, and that's okay. And cool.
Cool, cool. Britt Baker, another name. It almost sounded, I don't know if you got this, Robert, but she's hurt in certain ways and we just don't know about it. Maybe that's an undisclosed injury that she does not necessarily want to reveal. That's kind of the assumptions I was making, but
It does, like, he was very good about praising her in the same way he praised kind of everybody that got brought up.
mhm.
Like when he praised Adam Copeland and said, like, well, he's off filming his Highlander movie, and no, they haven't. WWE hasn't talked to me about doing anything with him. But like the Britt Baker component, they didn't address the, hey, what about all these rumors that she was difficult to work with and that there were problems in the back?
Mhm.
But it
Yeah,
was just she's great, she's a doctor, and we'll see.
we'll see how it goes. And then Jericho also got brought up as well. What
Which
do you got?
again was another great non-answer, and it was a fine non-answer. It was, we'd love to work with Chris. We'd love to continue to work with Chris. We think the world of Chris, and we'll see. So, like, why tip your hat otherwise?
Yeah. When it comes to the overall interview of it, I thought like I always kind of think about like, when you do get the negative opinions that were talked about in certain ways, like a Cornette and some other personalities out there. Uh Tony, the face that he put on there was a positive face for AEW, and it did make you feel good. I thought it made me feel better about AEW. I will say, like, I did have some criticisms with Dynamite after the fact once I watched it. But overall, kind of what two you were saying is like you do see it it's plotted out a little bit better. 3 hours is a long time to have a show.
A 3 hour wrestling show is always going to be long, especially because I feel like on Dynamite last night they leaned a lot on the old Saturday night's main event. Like,
Mhm.
here's a backstage promo with guys who were just yelling at a camera. We saw it with
Right.
Rogito, we saw it with FTR, we saw it with Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. I did like the Pac filmed pre-tape. That had a nice look to it, but then it
Mhm.
still made you wonder, why the hell are we seeing Pac versus Darby on a pay-per-view?
Yes, yeah, because I completely forgot about that match. And then too, I know this was probably something you'd take exception with was Kyle O'Reilly and John Moxley are going to be having a no holds barred match at Full Gear. On top of, there's also a no DQ match on the card for that one too. I can't remember
Well,
what the
we'll preview. We'll definitely preview Full Gear. But what we talked about last week with Blood and Guts
Mhm.
was one of two negative scenarios. Either one, Kyle O'Reilly was going to be responsible for John Moxley being ousted from the Death Riders, which would have
Mhm.
been such a letdown. Or number two, Blood and Guts was going to happen, and then the next week everyone was going to show up as if nothing happened. And
And
sure
that's what
enough, here came Moxley and Claudio as a team, healthy as horses, to go wrestle Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong. Maybe Blood and Guts didn't happen. Maybe we hallucinated it.
that's the only. It seems like they're punting maybe for Full Gear before all the dissension takes place. But how long? How many more times are you going to punt this ball? Like,
Well, that's a Lucy and Charlie Brown kind of question.
definitely is that. Big takeaway. I really liked Ricochet's opening promo and the match thereafter. Short and sweet, but it was fun. It was a fun
Didn't
match.
didn't love beating Ricochet that quickly, which
You didn't?
makes me think maybe he's winning the national title. But
Yeah, that's a good point.
if it was long promo quick spear, pin, fine.
Yeah,
Don't make it a match where the demand are out there and they're all interfering, and then Lashley still gets the win. It
that's
winds up
true
kind of
too.
burying Ricochet more than they probably needed to do it. I don't
Mhm.
mind quick pin, but it should have been quick pin. You didn't need to have any kind of match.
I'm with you on that. With you on that. We also had Kenny Omega making his return, and the kind of apprehensive Young Bucks in certain ways as they teamed with Josh Alexander as they took on Skyflight, which I did not know was a faction.
Didn't know it was a faction. They're also different than the CMLL 6-man tag champions,
it's
which are called like the Sky something or other.
oh my gosh, too many Sky stuff.
A lot of Sky. Good match, very enjoyable
Was it?
match. I still cannot understand why the Young Bucks are even remotely hesitant to join the Don Callis family. They're all heels. They've all taken out Kenny Omega as well as other people in violent and horrific ways.
Yep.
They need the money. They need the accolades. Don is giving them the money and the accolades
And an entrance.
and an entrance. Why is this a bad thing for them narratively speaking?
Right? Where's the reluctance coming from exactly? I mean,
Can't really figure it out. Also, didn't Jack Perry get banished as the scapegoat and was off in Japan and was going to declare war on everyone, and now he's just back as happy-go-lucky Jungle Boy?
he's like the shovel guy from Home Alone, but a lot younger.
How dare you?
That's
That is
all
my
I can think about.
that is my Thanksgiving Day movie.
Is it Home Alone?
Home Alone. The Thanksgiving that is my Thursday night tradition.
Wow.
So for years, NBC would air before Black Friday. They would air Home Alone. It was like 3-4
Mhm.
years in a row. It was always sponsored by Sears to try to promote their Black Friday sales. So after Thanksgiving dinner, we'd sit and watch Home Alone. So to this day, night before Thanksgiving, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Night of
Oh,
Thanksgiving, it's Home Alone.
how about that? I like it.
Yes. And
Home
then
Alone's such a great movie.
Home Alone's a great movie. And then Christmas time is obviously, it's an Alan Rickman Christmas.
Ooh, do you do like Love Actually and stuff then too?
Love Actually and Die Hard.
Wow, wow, that was great too. I thought the tribute to Bob Caudle was really nice.
That was a sweet moment. That was a nice little thing for Tony.
Mm-hmm. Then we had Speedball Mike Bailey taking on Shelton Benjamin. Fun match.
Really fun match. Give me a lot more of that. And Shelton and Lashley starting it out on the pay-per-view will be a hell of a lot of fun.
That'll be a blast. Yes, very excited for that. We
The
had
women's tag tournament matches were
yes.
fine. I'm just looking at my notes here. Tony and Mina beating Alex Windsor and Riho. Hey, Riho was on TV.
Wow.
And Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir beating Ty Mello and Anna Jay.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I ultimately want to see like Harley Cameron and Willow win the whole thing, I think. But I guess we can make those predictions tomorrow.
We'll make those predictions as we get closer. The highlight of this whole show is in the time that we have left.
Mm-hmm.
Very few moments in the annals of wrestling history do you go, I'm going to remember where I was for the rest of my life when I saw this.
Uh-huh.
There was a promo with Sky Blue and Julia Hart that may be the single worst thing I've ever seen in professional wrestling. It was junior high goth drama performance. It was so avant-garde that I thought, you know what, maybe this is supposed to be this bad, in which case, cheers to them. But, oh, no. That was brutal.
The thing with Julia, she's got a great look. Obviously, the presentation of her is really, really good. But I always thought that she needed somebody to kind of speak for her, help her in a lot of ways. She wasn't known for a promo.
Well, thankfully, someone who's known for his promos is Mr. Dominic Marie D'Angelo.
That's true.
And that's why we are here every Monday through Friday, assuming Dom's allowed into his domicile.
Right.
We're on a plethora of platforms, including the WW Creative _ISH X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, the at SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo, ad-free shows, and podcast heat. Dom, they didn't think we would be back, but we were back. We will be back tomorrow. So on behalf of the man who needs to get one of those little spare key frog rock holder things outside of his door, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Get yourself a D'Angelo, like Robert says. Everybody has one.
Shh.